Oh, hi. Thank you for my opening act this morning. That was great. Tom Brady's balls. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, it wasn't Rudy's silent night fart. So there you go.
Another thing we're getting tons of mileage out of. Yeah. On my show. That's for sure. I even got Buzz Burbank in on the act yesterday with the Rudy Giuliani farting.
Yeah, the ass mask.
Yes.
Yeah, the ass mask. Exactly. Yes. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I didn't remember the name of my own show from yesterday. But yes. Buzz Burbank, straight button down Buzz Burbank, the intrepid newsman, coined the phrase "ass mask."
Oh, which, right. To protect you. To protect us from Rudy, actually.
From Rudy.
Yes.
From his toilet plume.
We were wondering if you can get COVID from someone's farts, if that person...
Yes, you can. They're toilet plumes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Toilet plumes.
Yeah, and Dr. Burbank's analysis was, if you can smell it, are you getting the droplets? And that's the big concern. We got to ask Dr. Doom at some point.
Yes,
we'll ask him tomorrow.
We'll ask him tomorrow about ass droplets.
We'll get to the bottom of that.
All right. Okay.
See, we're opening up a whole new marketplace for Donald Trump. See, the Trump steaks, Trump vodka, Trump ass masks.
There you go.
I'm telling you, Mr. President.
There you go. Okay.
I insist on 5%, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I don't. By the way, speaking of Rudy, can we just talk about? I think you've talked about this as well, Bob. Just this. You talk about inequality in America. It's nobody. None of us could get this. I mean, Chris just lost 2 friends that we don't know if it's COVID-related heart attacks. These that are flaunt the rules, go right to the front of the line to the hospital, get the Regeneron because they're the president's buddy, and act like everybody can do it. Yeah, here's Rudy. Listen.
I've gotten remdesivir and Dexa something or other.
Yeah. So it's the cocktail. It's the same protocol that the president got. Is that right?
Yes, right.
All right. So
exactly the same. His doctor sent me here.
Okay.
He talked me into it. I didn't want to really go to the hospital, and he said, "Don't be stupid. We can get it over with in 3 days.
Yeah.
If we send you to the hospital."
Yeah, and most of us, don't get the Ben Carson, Chris Christie, Rudy Giuliani, right? Because he screwed up. There's not enough Regeneron for everybody. It's just, it's like, yes, most of it. You know how many people have died? The doctor's like, go home, monitor your symptoms, and because people don't get the friend of the president treatment. I mean, it's just Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, first of all, I don't think Rudy could pronounce dexamethasone. I don't think he could do it without dexamethasone.
Yeah.
Something. It would just get completely tangled on his tongue.
They didn't stop his vodka drip. Well,
exactly right. The other thing is that I've noticed too is even with the cures, even with their quote unquote cures, they are just naming nuts. Donald Trump is naming nuts. He's just talking. He's just like he always does, just throwing out words that sound nefarious the way he's saying them, but there's nothing there. Yeah. So, like in this example, Rudy Giuliani's just naming the things that Donald Trump was naming: Regeneron, dexamethasone, hydroxychloroquine, all these things.
Which we should point out, it is dangerous to use the word cures. They are not cures; they're therapeutics. Thank God, that are helping. But they're And it's exactly why we're in the position we're in, Bob, because the cure was hydroxychloroquine that they pumped how much money into and, manufactured because there was an angle there and they could make money off of it. Meanwhile, screwed up on Regeneron and on the vaccine. Couldn't figure out how to make money on the extra Pfizer vaccine, so said no. You said no?
Yeah. And I'm curious about this, and maybe this is a conversation we had with Glenn Kirshner, is I'm wondering, even with pardons, are civil lawsuits still on the table? Because I imagine there's got to be a conga line of lawsuits lined up against Donald Trump for how he downplayed and deceived the public.
Yeah. How is it not mass homicide?
Of his virus.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Negligent homicide.
So as of January 21, is there going to be a line of lawyers lined up waiting at various courthouses to file lawsuits against Donald Trump and the Trump administration for all of these, what you can only define as negligent deaths? I mean, this is some form of negligent homicide where Donald Trump knew that this was going to kill people. This is, at the very least, this is going to be easily transmissible from person to person to person. He was saying so much. It's on tape to Bob Woodward.
Yeah.
It's an open and shut case. And we've got video of the press conferences, too. There's got to be a series of lawsuits against this guy. And I don't know what the pardon powers, how the pardon powers affect those lawsuits or potential lawsuits.
Speaking of lawsuits, let's pause briefly to talk about the Supreme Court ruling yesterday. Okay. That completes our legal section.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. America has to laugh, and Donald Trump's lawsuits so far are providing us with plenty of material. This is great. And there's another one. They're about to get crushed on this. What is it? The Texas AG is now filing a lawsuit, or has filed a lawsuit.
Who is under indictment and clearly doing it for a pardon and filing this ridiculous lawsuit that they have no standing. It's going to go nowhere. Right?
Right.
Election experts say Lone Star State's dangerous stunt has no chance of success at the Supreme Court. They're suing other states because they don't like how they voted, basically.
Mm-hmm.
The nature of the action Texas hopes the Supreme Court will hear contains a laundry list of grievances that includes Joe Biden had less than a quadrillion chance of overcoming Trump's lead as of November 4th, which is before the mail-in ballots poured in. Mm-hmm. It should not go without mention. Republican state lawmakers in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin declined to ensure an earlier, timelier voting of mail-in votes. In other words, the GOP refused to put in place safeguards against the very scenario the Texas AG is complaining about now. And they know, what's his name? Ken Paxton. He's been under indictment for years and has recently been accused of bribery, whistleblower retaliation, extramarital affair. I don't know, securities fraud. It's like a...
Only the best people.
Right.
Yeah. It's either, I mean, for Trump, it's down to that guy and Rudy Giuliani, who's in the hospital.
I know.
This is the extent of their legal team, and the MyPillow guy.
Right. One law professor said this is a dangerous stunt that has no prospect of being heard by the Supreme Court. Another said Texas here is asking the Supreme Court for permission to sue Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin over how those states conducted their own elections. This is the dumbest case any lawyer has ever seen, and the Supreme Court won't touch it. Really, this is the craziest case of them all. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, I wrote in my Salon piece that they're like the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. They're testing the fences for weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all they're doing. They have no plan whatsoever. It's just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks to the wall. And that's yeah, exactly. Right. And so that is the extent of their legal strategy. And that reveals the big con, right? Which is the big cynical cash grab.
Well,
the fact that these lawsuits are so insane and ridiculous exposes the fact that this is just nothing but a cash grab for Trump.
You said it. Is Trump staging a coup or just running a con? No reason he can't do both. It's a combination of those two words, right?
The con is the selling. The con is the big the coup attempt is the selling point. It's like the Hoover vacuum cleaner salesman coming to your door and saying, "Hey, look at that carpet. I can clean that entire carpet for you." Yeah. Oh, come on in. Come on in with your Hoover vacuum cleaner. Suddenly, your carpet is still filthy an hour and a half later, and you've bought a $500 vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
That's the big con that he's carrying.
Yes, the Hoover went directly into your wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a con and a coup. It's a canoe.
It's a canoe.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So this is the big game that they're playing right now, and separating all of these people in the midst of this crushing recession. Up to 74 million people are handing over their money to Donald Trump.
As you said, $207 million for his Save America super PAC. You said, according to numerous sources, hardly any of that sum is stopping the steal, and yet they keep shoveling money. It's hard to feel sorry for people at this point. I guess you're just oh my God. I can't. Really? In this economy, you're giving money to just, again, his latest con? I mean, how many does he have to run?
These are chronological adults. These are grown-ups. Right. Mm-hmm. And they have been so taken in by the world's most obvious, to underscore the word obvious, the world's most obvious con man. We've known this for how many decades now about Donald Trump?
That's my new favorite term. They're chronological adults.
Yes, because emotionally, that's a different story. They're acting like children, and that's the big problem here. We now have one half of the political debate in this country is occupied by crazy people and just children who have no idea what the truth is. They're following this con man who they believe is the only person in the world who's telling the truth about the election.
Yeah.
And literally everyone else is the liar, is the crook, is the election thief.
Yeah.
And that's the staggering thing. That's the overarching conundrum about following Donald Trump in the last 4 years, is that his supporters believe he's the only one telling the truth. And he is the world's biggest liar.
Bob, his 3 Supreme Court picks are in on the deep state thing now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's he was really hoping for that. He was really I mean, Lou Dobbs went bananas the other night about Sam Alito
on Stephen Miller. Oh, it was fantastic.
Yeah, and they went. I think all of Red Hat Twitter went nuts yesterday on Sam Alito, and all Sam Alito did was take the request and then hand it to the rest of the court.
Right.
The rest of the Supreme Court.
Right.
And they said, nope, no way, 9-0. We're not going to hear this case.
Oh, listen,
and then everyone was blaming Sam Alito.
20-year-old poll workers that just brought the poll books to a place are getting death threats. I mean, that's where we live now. By the way, you said, I swear if Stephen Miller shows up on TV anywhere outside of Fox News, I'm going to break something.
Right. And, you know, along those lines, we heard, and there hasn't been a publisher named yet, but apparently Kellyanne Conway is negotiating a multi-million-dollar book deal.
It's going to be entitled Spider's Master.
Yes. Oh, my God. Charlotte's Web, Part 2.
Oh, God.
The Reckoning.
Ick.
Yeah.
Ick. All right. You know what's essential? The Bob Cesca Show.
Yeah.
Yes.
I listen to it.
I don't.
Well, it's good. It's good.
Good.
I enjoy
Okay,
you
well,
in every form, written.
I may have
podcast.
to subscribe to the Patreon page for that show.
Yeah, it's good.
Ooh,
okay. The Bob Cesca Show.
right.
Sexy
Yeah.
Liberal Podcast
no,
Network.
I'll subscribe to the Stephanie Miller Patreon page
Okay.
too.
Oh, thank you.
But
okay.
also
All right.
To the Bob Cesca
All right.
Patreon.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, Chris.
All right, nerd. See ya. See ya, nerd.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
Bye.
I love that he
Bye.
talks to me from his nerd basement, and I'm in.